What's up, everybody? Welcome to Monday night. That's right. It's when shit gets real. It's when things get wild and crazy. Monday night's the craziest night of all. No, not really, guys. What's going on tonight is that I want to start off the week the right way. And so any of you that are in here hanging with me to start the week off that way, I very much appreciate it. There's some things that I'm going to need to kind of figure out and get in order, like we need some music probably to start these streams off with, because I'm always just like, hey, what's up, everybody? I often have the same thing happen, which is that I get out of the shower from doing something active in the daytime just before I go live, and then I sit here as I go live in front of a hot light just sweating. It is uncomfortable. So that's a thing, but we're gonna have to work on that together. So welcome to Monday night. I see people in here hanging out. No, Jake Yakavetta, there will be no suit tonight because this nerd is too hot. I am just. Oh, is it out of sync? Hang on, let me see. No, it should be good, unless the input is wrong on Ecamm. Give me a second here. No, it should be good. As far as I figured it out. If it's out of sync, then I guess you guys will have to let me know how, and I will have to work on that. But it is Monday night, and what we're doing is I kind of want to talk to you guys about just generally positive stuff. There's a lot of fun stuff happening. Okay, a little out of sync, huh? Interesting. Good on my end, says Chris. A little out of sync, says Jeremy Miller. I wonder why we are more or less out of sync. I can't. During the stream, I don't think there's anything I can do about it. I guess let me listen to it really quickly, guys. I'm gonna listen to the stream and see real quick kind of how it works here, and maybe I can troubleshoot it live. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, so the audio's coming in a little late, so it's even more delayed than normal. Let's see if maybe we can just eyeball this. Let's see if we change it by another frame. 280, 320, 360. Two more frames. Sync off, sync on. We're gonna test it and see if it's any better. Test it and see if it's any better. If it's bad, it's bad. No. It looks like it's wrong also. Watching it back. This is impossible. Yeah, there's no way to get this to work. Oh shit. This is a positive way to start. This is a positive way to start the stream. We're going to go back to the normal audio video delay. I should have refreshed everything. What are you gonna do? Yeah, who cares for now? Exactly. I'm gonna use this pair of clean sweatpants to dab my forehead, as I'm already sweating and now sweating more. All right. Well, let's talk turkey, guys. Let's talk what it's actually about. They're actually clean. I'm not kidding. That sounds like a really gross thing that I just did, but I promise you, my sweatpants are clean. So Monday night, what do I want to be doing on this stream? What's the point? What are we talking about? Why are we here? And I think the answer to the question is this. So I do a stream on Friday with Andrew on Action Industries. We do a show called Greatest Movie Ever Made. And then Sunday, we do the Action Guys. And, I do Nerds and Suits shows now about music. I'm working on the album. There's Studio Diary. A lot of you guys have tuned in. A bunch of you guys actually tuned into that one this last weekend. There was like 20 people in there watching live, which was super cool. It's a Patreon perk. But one thing I don't do a lot of, and we do a little bit of this on Action, but we don't make a point of it, is to talk about general life stuff, like self-improvement, self-betterment, positive stuff, the kind of stuff that I think most of us struggle with. And so for me, I thought about it, and I'm at this point in my life, I'm at this age and in this year of my life where it feels really, really important. It feels like that's what this next year of my life kind of needs to be about, because I'm working really hard at my career, and and, I love my friends and my family, and obviously we're all stuck at home. So a lot of people are trying to kind of work on themselves. But I think one of the things that a lot of us don't have is a sounding board for more people than just kind of our immediate closest friends and family. It's nice to joke about stupid shit and drink on air and talk about movie news. That's always really fun. I love doing that stuff. But getting a little more real with people, and not only doing it myself, but also kind of giving you guys the opportunity to sound off and be a part of the conversation is something that I thought would be helpful for all of us. And so I wanted to start it off here. I also think that a Monday night show is a good idea because I can tell you guys about the guest that's coming up that week on a great conversation. I can talk to you about the song I'm planning on doing for this week's episode of Song from the Scene. I can talk to you about other projects and things that I'm excited about because my career gives me a great deal of energy. It's one of the things that I'm the most excited about in general. So when I have ideas that I get pumped on, I want to share them with people. And so that's kind of what Monday nights, I think, on Nerds and Suits are going to start to be about. I don't know if 7 p.m. is the correct time every week, but it feels about right. Feels like where I want it to be. So that would mean that I would do the Monday show at 7 p.m. here. We would do Wednesdays every other Wednesday because as of right now, it looks like Song from the Scene is going to go to every other week. I thought that it was going to be something I was just able to just do and crush and just stay on top of every week. And after doing about 6 or 7 of them, what I found is that the time necessary to learn and actually perform it and do the review and watch the movie is a little more demanding than I expected it was going to be. What's up, call sign bar tab? Jake Iacovetta over here. Infinity 5-star general. Just the ballerest of baller titles. He says, hope you're all doing well. Much love to you all. Oh, that reminds me, guys. Let me pull up Streamlabs and Super Chats just in case any of them come in. I don't want to miss you. And yeah, so that's kind of what I want the show on Monday nights to be about. And what I really want to do is I want to try to interact with you guys because I want to tell you about the things that I've got going on, the things I'm excited about, but I also want to know kind of what you guys are thinking, what your big dreams are, what your big plans are, if there's anything I can help you with, if there's anything I can help motivate you with, if we as a group can all together collectively be on the same page and it makes your guys' lives better, to have a place to share them because I see a lot of names in here. And I can tell you right now, I'm just going to read off a few of the names in here that I recognize that are all generals in the Action Army. Obviously, Party J is up in here. I mentioned Jake Iacovetta. Danny Cost is in here. PLD, obviously. A lot of folks that I feel like I interact with on an all-the-time basis. And you guys are all in the generals chat together over on Action. But there's also names in here that I don't see as often. So, Ben Rayner here says, hey, all, happy Monday. What's up, Ben? Christopher Michael Woodburn. He's saying, he says, I need COVID to be over so I can go after my dreams. Kelly W, Monday therapy, great idea. Danny Ramirez, I'm creeping, LOL. General Danny, Drew and I are close on a call sign for you. I want you to know there's a whole text thread about it, and it's close. It's really close. We're just not quite there yet, but it's coming very soon. So that's kind of a little bit what I'm trying to do. I see up at the top here, I see Liam Gilpin, call sign Sunshine. He's always happy. You can see by his face, so he doesn't need any therapy. But some of us can use those smiles, and we need those smiles. So basically, that's kind of what Monday is going to be about, right? I want to talk about work stuff. I want to get you guys excited about stuff. I want to hear what you have to say, and then I want to just kind of generally talk about positive shit. So the first thing I'm going to start with is I'm going to tell you guys that last Friday I worked with David Michael Frank, who's my producer on my upcoming album. I've been kicking around kind of ideas for what I want to maybe call the record. I don't totally know yet. I had a lot of fun ideas. I can bounce some things off you guys. One thing that came to mind is obviously I announced the album under the Nerds and Suits channel and brand. So when the album does come out, there's one thought to call it Nerds and Suits. I don't know if that's really good or artistically correct because it's not at all what the album's going to be about. I don't really know as an artist what I'm going to go with yet. Maybe just Ben Bateman. That's possible. It's possible that's enough and that's the smartest thing. But I definitely think that the group of songs that we're working on is a really good group. I'm really proud of it. I for sure think that it is a group that I'm going to be very, very proud of when I'm done with it. During the studio diary on Saturday, I played through kind of demo versions of I think 2 of the newer songs for you guys, and they don't have names yet, and they're not complete yet, and the lyrics are still being worked on. But I was really, really liking what they were sounding like. So the new album's going to be great. So we went through all these different tracks. We listened to a bunch of stuff, old songs, new songs, like all kinds of stuff. And we came up with a good list. So I'll be going back this week to work on that again. Kelly W says, first albums are normally self-titled. No? Yeah, sometimes. Patrick McCabe. Hey, everyone. What's up, Patrick? How you doing? Welcome. Sometimes they are. I guess I just don't really know if I'm going to end up just being Ben Bateman, the artist, or if I'm going to go by a different name, not like a different name, but like, an artist name or something. I don't know. Years ago, I was in a band called Bateman. Like, that was what I called the name of the band, but, it seems kind of douchey to not just be Ben Bateman if I'm going to be Bateman. So I feel like that's probably not a very good band name. So anyway, but that's a good piece of news on the music front. You guys have been incredibly supportive. All of the nerds in the Nerd Network, the patrons. So a big time thank you to every single patron. I on all of the pre-recorded videos, I do a big thank you, and I have it, I have it banked, but I actually don't have it pulled up in front of me here. So let me just give a quick shout out to my patrons, because I like to start all the streams that way if I can. So a big shout out to all of the all of the Double Diamond and the Infinity patrons. I'm going to read off some names real quick here for you guys. We got John Patterson, Nicole Krafik, Lucas Shashak, Charlotte Gherkin, Jake Yakavetta, CJ Robinson, AJ Lancaster, Party J, Partis Jessa Dawson, Philip Gustafson, The Prince That Wasn't Promised, Brianne Chandler. That is my group of Double Diamond patrons, and above, of course. So thank you guys all so much for supporting what I'm doing. It means a lot. And you all deserve to hear your name. And if anybody here is wondering about the Patreon stuff, obviously Studio Diary is that's sort of the big, most exciting reward I can give away. You guys sit twice a month for an hour with me as I go over new album material, try out covers. You can request covers at the Double Diamond level. So I did a few of those on Saturday, but it's always unlisted and just for patrons. But you can also submit questions to be asked to guests. I recorded my interview with Mike Kalinowski. That is the next piece of news for you guys. It's going to be coming out this Friday. Mike was awesome. He was so much fun to talk to. It's so weird with Schmodown competitors now that because we've been doing it for so long together, and it does resemble sports, and we've had all these emotional peaks and valleys, when I talk to Mike, or like when I talk to Roka or Dan on these shows, it feels like talking to somebody that I have like all these old shared battle scars with. Because I've gone head to head with these people. Every one of them now I've gone head to head with. But also, on top of going head to head, we've all experienced the same highs and lows, right? Once you finally win that championship, that elusive championship, you kind of know what it's like to cross that hill, to start to roll down the other side. There's a big weight off your shoulders. And once you've lost the title match, or if you've lost any important match, that's obviously something else. If you've ever had a heartbreaking loss, which of course Mike has, and so that was cool. But I got to ask questions from 7 different patrons, all who submitted questions for Mike, all of which are in the interview. They're all in the interview. So that's going to come out Friday at noon. It'll be here live on the channel. Obviously not live, but it will be premiering live, and I'll be in there with you guys so that I can watch and I can hang out and play along. I know I got that piece of hair on my forehead, Jeremy Miller. It's hard to avoid. There we go. I think I got it out. And, Mike obviously returns to the Schmodown this week. He's playing Greg Alba in the first round of the Inner Geekdom tournament. So that drops. It's already up on Patreon over on Schmodown. You guys can check that out. But, so the interview with Mike's going to be great. I just dropped down again. I can feel it. The next interviews I'm recording, the next 2 that I have upcoming, one of them is going to be with Jordan Calloway, who played Chuck Clayton on Riverdale and played Painkiller on Black Lightning. So Jordan's coming on the show probably this week. I have to confirm him and the interview time. But Jordan should be one of the next ones. And so make sure, if you guys are patrons, everybody at the platinum level and above, that's the $15 level over on the Nerd Network Patreon. If you are at that level, you can submit a question for Jordan. I will ask it in the interview. Every single person gets 1 per guest. So be sure to get your questions in for Jordan Calloway. He's such a nice dude, and he'll be a really, really great guest to have on. I'm probably recording that this week. So if you're watching this live or if you're watching this later and you are a patron, be sure to submit it. You can just submit it right in the messages. I'll post when this is over, a master post, so you guys can know that. The other guest that I have coming up after Jordan is a guy named Johnny Cruz. And Johnny Cruz is an old friend. I mentioned this on Friday. He's my oldest friend in LA. He's somebody I met right when I first moved here. We had the same manager. So we hung out, got to know each other. And Johnny is a really talented voiceover actor as well as an actor. He's been on a bunch of shows. He was on a show on Matador, called Matador on El Rey Network a couple years ago as one of the stars. I think Des Manos is a show. Seis Manos, maybe. I have to look up the title of it. It's a Netflix show. He's on with Danny Trejo. He does a voice on that show. He is right now most famously the voice of Lucio in Overwatch. And yeah, he's hilarious. He and I used to do like an improv group together. We used to teach an acting class together when we were really young. So he'll be coming on right after. So you can look up JONNYCRUZ. Yeah, Kelly W. I watched Matador. Yeah, he was the brother, I think, on that show. Also, my friend Christina was on that show, Christina Ochoa, which I'm hoping I can get her on here at some point as well. She's wonderful. She was, she's currently on Animal Kingdom, and she was on a show called Valor on CW last year, and another one on ABC called A Million Little Things. So, she's really talented and wonderful, smart. She's like a genius. She's like Mensa. She's like super, super, super smart. So they're great guests. I should have Johnny and Chuck both. Not Chuck Clayton. His name is not Chuck. His name is Jordan. Johnny and Jordan both coming up in this next week. So I'll post those on the Patreon. You guys can submit some questions. And there'll be some funny questions to ask Johnny, because I did this thing called Tetso. So it was this short film. This is a good story, actually. We'll talk about this when Johnny's on, but this is funny for you guys to know. So when I was 21, I moved here, and I was in this thing that I called Untitled Actors Workshop. And it was the first 12 people that I met in LA who were creative people. Like literally the first 12. Like Johnny, a girl named Caitlin, who was also part of my local group, my management company that I was with. There was a girl named Chelsea, who must have been a friend of someone's. This guy Charlie, who was a friend of Johnny's, who ended up being a guy that I did jobs at Bite Size TV with years later, a hosting job on a sports show called Sweat and Balls, because it was a funny name. And we all, as a group, the idea was that the idea was that if we came up with a short, if we wrote a creative piece and we put it out there, we could enter it in festivals. And I think it was supposed to be that every 3 months or 6 months, a new person or trio of people in our group of 12 was going to write something, and then we were going to collectively be in it and film it. This was like a dream idea, right? It was like totally ridiculous and hilarious. And so we did this, and Johnny had written and directed stuff before. So Johnny was the first one, and he had this thing he had written called Tetso, and it was very inspired by Scott Pilgrim versus the World, because it was kind of like a fairy tale cartoon, but with real people type of story. And so Johnny starred alongside me. We were the two stars of this thing. And Johnny played a janitor, and I played his protege, a janitor's janitor. And there was this ridiculous story where Johnny used to play guitar. He used to be able to play guitar so beautiful. I can't even remember, but if he ever did, someone would die or something like that. And there's all these scenes where he's teaching me to be a janitor, and I'm trying to learn from him as a guitar player. And I wrote 3 songs for this thing. It's a 22-minute short. We shot most of it. There's a version that's out there that doesn't have effects. I might even have it. I don't think I have any way of playing it on here, to be honest with you guys. Should I look? It might take me a minute to dig around for it, but I might be able to find it. I'm young in this, guys. I'm 22, I'm pretty sure. I'm 22 years old. Cody Seal, Callsign Kilmer says, sounds sweet. This is the greatest concept for a movie or show ever. John Lastrina says, oh, nice. Johnny Crew did some pedestrian population voices in Red Dead Redemption 2. I probably heard him and never noticed. Johnny is just a fucking delight. He's hilarious. I probably can share. I know I can screen share on this app. So let me first see if I can find one of his videos that he's in, because there's some really funny shit that Johnny did. Let me look really quickly. Johnny Cruz YouTube sketch comedy. Let's see. Power Up maybe was his improv group. Power Up sketch comedy. Man, yeah, I wonder if I'm not gonna be able to find that. He's a funny dude, but anyway, long story short, he'll definitely be coming on, and that'll be great. I wonder if I was gonna be able to find here. I'm gonna look really quickly for Tetso and see if I can find it, guys. Just because if I'm able to find it, it would be a really hilarious thing for us to watch on this stream. And then obviously, we should talk about some of the positive stuff, because that's what we're here to do. It looks like I have a link to it. I wonder if I'm able to click on it. Let's see. Let's find out. Video is private. I do have the password. It's here, guys. I have it. So I wonder. Yeah. All right. We're gonna see if we can pull this off. So I know this version of it is like an unedited version, and the effects are not rendered. So I'm gonna see what I can pull up. This is gonna be so much fun. A couple things before we get into it. I want to remind everybody here before I click play. Number one, if you're watching this and you haven't already hit thumbs up, hit the thumbs up button, please. Let's make sure we get these likes up to more people that are watching the show. If you are watching this, if you're tuned in and you're not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, because we are still trying to build Nerds in Suits, and it's been a weird couple weeks for me. It's been kind of a depressing week, and my enthusiasm has definitely waned a little, but it hasn't waned for the project. It's just kind of waned for life. So I'm trying to kind of get a little bit of that positivity back, and if you guys hit that thumbs up button, that would be awesome. When this video is over, it means a lot if you guys leave a comment. So that would be great if you guys would do that. But I am going to see if I can pull up this video. So let's see. I think share screen. I think I can just, let's see here. To broadcast system audio, please update to a latest Ecamm Live. Do not show this message again. Cancel. Oh, it's not going to let me maybe. I wonder if it's not going to let me because I don't have. Okay, so Google Chrome should be able to just click here. Okay, so we're going to hit this. So you guys tell me if you can hear this. If you can, I'll full screen it, because I can hear it. Can you guys hear it? Are you guys able to hear? Because if you are, no volume. Okay, gotcha. Well, we did get the shot of me in the Flash shirt. Very young me. Okay, so this, I might have to, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this without rebooting the system audio. And it might not let me do it. It might not let me do it. Oh, what a bummer. What a bummer that would be. Here, let's unshare the screen really quickly. Google Chrome, entire screen. I probably can't talk over it. Sure, Google Chrome. Well, shit. Now we're back to this. I feel like I should be able to do this, but I also feel like I might blow it. Because, like, you know, I'm not great at it. Yeah, so you guys can't hear it. Yeah, that's confirmed. Okay. Maybe there's a better way I can do this. I wonder if I can download it. Upload. Because it's not my video. Am I able to download it? Let's find out. No, I don't want to create a new video. That's not what I want. Let's see if we go. Comments are disabled. It's locked. Yeah, I don't think on Vimeo we can do it. Oh, man, we should be able to just do this, though. How big of a bummer is this? Because I think if we update the system audio... Try this again. Okay, so if we go back to this... I wonder if there's a setting I can just change... So we're sharing the screen. We would have to change the audio maybe to... No, I have no idea how to do this. I hate to say it. I do hate to say it, guys, because what a bummer that is. I need to figure this out. We'll have to watch it on another stream, because before Johnny comes on, this would be a really fun one for us to do together, I think. But anyway, so we'll get back to it another time. So, I did this thing with Johnny. It's ridiculous. Chris says, "Don't blow your wad, Ben." LOL. Cody Seal, Ben, I'm not gonna lie. When the stream is over, I will do whatever it takes to watch it on my PC. It's a good one, guys. I promise you, there's a lot of laughs in this, and it's a hard one not to laugh at and enjoy, especially because, like, I think we'll be able to all laugh at this together. I'll do this on another stream, though, I promise. I promise you, we will find a way to watch Tetsuo. Anyway, Johnny's coming on the show. That's what is coming up on A Great Conversation the next couple weeks. So as I said before, be sure to leave your questions as soon as I post there on Patreon for Jordan Calloway and Johnny Cruz. Those are going to be really, really fun guests for us to have on the show. So what else is going on? We've also got Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith from Armageddon coming up this week on Song from the Scene. So I'm going to be learning that, performing that, singing that, the whole deal. That's going to be really, really fun. And Cody Sale, is this better or worse than You as a Vampire? Because that was awesome. That's also funny. That's another one that's out there, Top Decking, where you guys can see me looking like a total fool. Because I mean, I do. It's just, I'm just really, 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 really pale. So that's coming up this week. We're going to be doing Song from the Scene. And remember, for all patrons at every level, there's like a longer version. So I'll talk for probably 3 to 4 minutes on the actual video about Armageddon. But for patrons, there's going to be like a 15 to 20 minute unedited rant of me just talking about all of the ridiculousness that is Armageddon. So look forward to that as well if you're patrons. And then I don't know what the next Song from the Scene is going to be. I do know that the next session I'm doing with David is going to be this week. So that's like artistically what's going on this channel. So now I think let's talk a little bit about maybe a little bit of goal setting, a little bit of self-improvement, a little bit of self-betterment stuff, because that's kind of where my head's been going this week. That's the stuff I'm thinking about. You know, really thinking about what are the things in my life, goals I want to set, things I want to do this year. So are you guys the same as me where you think about things in front of you in terms of like periods of time? You set goals for a week, for a month, for 3 months, for a year. Because that's very much how my brain works. It's very hard for me to think about things beyond that, right? That's like totally where my focus goes. It's how I process information. It's how I process thoughts. I can't really conceptualize things if I don't put them in terms of goal setting. And so when I think about what I want to do next, it always tends to be let's set up a game plan. But the problem is with that, if you're somebody who sets goals, but you're also somebody who likes to have a lot of ideas going on and sort of just enjoys being able to do what you want, then inevitably you will break your goals. Not all of them. Sometimes you'll succeed with flying colors and you'll have great goals. But common goals for people, weight loss, right? Fitness. That's a common goal. Weight loss, fitness. That's one that I think a lot of people focus on, being healthier, being more fit. Learning a new skill, becoming great at something, so you want to play the piano, learn to speak Spanish, something like that. Those are common goals, Then you think about friendship and relationship goals. You think about the way that you want to relate to the people you care about. You think about, being there for people, and how you want to lay your life out. Waking up earlier in the morning, stuff like that. Drinking, not drinking. If you're somebody who smokes a lot of weed, maybe you smoke less, I think when you look at your life and you try to organize it, you think about what do you ultimately want? What do you ultimately want to be getting out of your life? How do you want it to look? And then how do you get there? And if you're not getting there, why? What is it that's stopping you? What are you putting in front of yourself that's preventing you from achieving what you want? There's all kinds of self-help books. There's all kinds of things about positive visualization, actualizing your dreams. There's a lot of that stuff out there. And I am somebody who pretty firmly believes that if it works and it works for you, then it's fucking great. Because like that, right? If it works for you, it's just generally great. There's no reason to knock it or turn your nose up at somebody else's process, because that's the thing. I'm going to read a couple things here in the chat here so I can kind of hear what you guys have to say. All right. So Miss Movies, thanks, Chris. It's brought up some buried things that I pushed down that have been said about me that I wasn't expecting. So that was interesting. That's because Chris says, hi, Miss Movies. You were great on the Women Appreciation stream last night. I didn't get to watch that, but I heard it was really, really awesome. People are excited to see Miss Movies in here. Miss Movies, who has been learning guitar for the last little while. She and I text sometimes about songs she requested, Everlong by the Foo Fighters, which I've been working on and trying to get ready to kick ass and rock out on one of these studio sessions, so I can play the cover. But yeah, she's coming along on it. She just posted a video of it, and it's not the easiest song to learn as you're learning guitar. There's a lot of rhythmic changes, and so I commend you for working on that one, Miss Movies. Also, I've been sending Miss Movies little demos and stuff. She says, I want to know what you use to clean your fretboard. Yeah, I don't really. It's a problem, actually. I just had to take in my Epiphone Casino, that black electric guitar, and get it set up, and it was just dirty and gross. And I'm not very good at taking care of my guitars. That being said, I will be good at taking care of my guitars because I've been cleaning them. I have that spray. I have that black bottle they give you at the store, and I have the rag. So they're all clean now, but historically I haven't been great at it. So one thing I've talked about to you guys a lot, and I don't know how I'm actually going to figure this out because this just seems impossible, but there's this guitar that I really want. I've mentioned it a few times now. It's a Gibson Hummingbird. So it's like the classic acoustic electric guitar. It's Gibson's flagship model. And there's a studio model you can get that you can find them for 16, 17, 1800. But the traditional Hummingbird, the one that has the actual hummingbirds on the pickguard, it's the one that the Beach Boys used, that the Rolling Stones wrote most of their classic stuff in the late 60s on. Tom York uses one, Sheryl Crow. Very, very, very famous guitar. It's the most famous acoustic guitar, I would say. It ranges between $3,200 and $5,000. It's the cost of it. I can definitely find a picture of it. I should be able to show you guys a picture of the exact one that I want. Gibson Hummingbird. There's also a bunch of different colors of it. And the one that I specifically want is this one. It's a darker brown. Yeah, that's the one. That's not quite right. That's the one right there. But there's probably a better picture of it. Let me find. I can show you guys. It's such a fucking sweet guitar. It's so beautiful. I played the studio model the other day at a guitar shop, and it's just gorgeous. It sounds so good. Yeah, the exact color that I want. It's this darker, it's a darker brown. Hang on. We go find it. And they've been making them since the 60s, so you can get vintage ones, which that's a whole different conversation. But that looks like it right there. Yeah, that doesn't look as cool as I want it to look. I want to show you guys I want to show you guys the exact. That's more like it right there. Yeah, let's see if I can pull that from my desktop onto the screen to show you guys what's going on. Yeah, let's see here. This should be able to just pull this. Yep. So I should be able to enlarge it, right? You'd think so. No? Yeah, there we go. So that's a Gibson Hummingbird, right? That doesn't even totally look like the correct color, actually. I feel like... Yeah, it's the wrong color. Close, though. And that's a vintage one. But you guys can see... Oh, wait. No, there's another one on my desktop here. I know what happened. I know exactly what happened. I'm pulling a different thing. There we go. That's what I was looking for. That's what I wanted to show you guys. So let's kill the wrong one. That's the color that I want right there. That is exactly the one. It's that dark wood. It's that dark color wood. It's got the hummingbirds on it. So this guitar is between $3,000 and $5,000. And I don't know when in my life I'll ever be able to buy this guitar. I have no fucking idea. I really, really wanted to get it for this album. This was my dream, right? Let's get this guitar for this album. Let's find a way. But I don't even think there's enough. I don't think there's a fucking crowdfunding or Patreon tier that I could really come up with that would get me this guitar. I think realistically, it's just not a thing that's going to happen. So, what are you going to do? We all have our dreams, right? It's my Great White Buffalo, this guitar. But why was I talking about the Hummingbird? Why'd that come up? Because we're talking about goal setting. And visualizing things, And so when I thought about that guitar, I was like, okay, what steps can I take to get that guitar? And I think so what that kind of brings to mind is this idea that if you have an idea of something you want to achieve and you think it's great, you think it's awesome, it really makes you happy, the idea of achieving it, you got to ask yourself the question of like, well, just how awesome is it, right? Is it awesome on a superficial level? Like I would own this thing, and then once I owned it, I'd just have it, or is it going to enrich your life? Is it going to make you happier? Is it going to bring you closer to being a better person? And I think that's a really important way to visualize goals and to think about when you decide to make decisions or make changes in your life, how do you do them and why are you doing them? For instance, the classic one, first of the year, every year, people set this goal. They want to lose X number of pounds. They want to join a gym, and they want to get in shape. And I think the basic reason most people have for that is that if you are in better shape, you'll probably feel better. You'll be healthier, right? That's standard. But like for some people, it's not necessarily that. For some people, they're already in shape. They're already healthy. They just want to be skinnier. And it won't make them happier because the more time and energy they spend focused on it, the more difficult the standard is going to be. And they're going to focus on it. They're not going to meet the standard they set for themselves. It's going to make them more unhappy. It's a good example of like, and then you have to start to kind of address the question of, why? Just why? Why was that the goal? So something I'd urge you guys to do in here, if any of you guys want to do it, and feel free not to, feel free to send me a private message, by the way. I'm absolutely happy for you guys to do that. Most of you guys in the chat here have a way of privately contacting me. If you don't, feel free to send me, tweet me or something like that. But I think almost everybody in here who's watching right now, who's going to watch later, is either a friend on Facebook, a member of the Action Army, a patron of one of the two. You can send me a Patreon message. I check my Instagram DMs, so DM me on Instagram. I'm not somebody who doesn't check them. I send me your ideas. But so I think when we talk about goal setting, that's kind of something that I want these Monday sessions to be about. I want to really speak with you guys about goals. So one of the goals for me that and this one's not like a big spiritual one or one that's about betterment necessarily, because they don't all have to be about that. They can be simple. So one of the ones that I really, really, really want to do is I really would like to win the 2 Schmodown belts, singles and teams. That's a lot of you guys in here know what that is. A few of you may not know what that is if you're watching this later. The Movie Trivia Schmodown is it's the greatest movie trivia league in the world. It's very competitive, and I won the singles title last year in December. It's a big belt and everything, and I lost the title in February. It was a very close match. Right now we have Star Wars and Inner Geekdom, which are like Star Wars and Inner Geekdom is like nerdy franchises. But the singles and teams divisions are returning in the fall, and I have matches coming up in both divisions confirmed from Christian. And I next up have a singles and a teams #1 contender match. I don't yet know who I'm playing. That's something that is going to have to get worked on. But at this point, it doesn't matter anymore, right? Doesn't matter anymore. I've gone head to head, taken the greatest of all time to the last question. I've taken the Shire Wolves to the last question. I've gotten as close as you can get to winning, and I've also won it. So I know I can hang with anyone. I know I can beat anyone. So that's a goal for me. And the only way to win in the Schmodown, the only way I've ever won in the Schmodown, is you have to visualize and set goals. You have to have a program. You have to have a system and a way you're going to actually be able to achieve what you want. So I'm currently working on the system that I want to set up. And right now I'm not watching the movies that are going to be helpful. The last few days I've watched bad movies. The last few days I watched Virtuosity is not horrible, but it's not very good. I watched Virtuosity, Domestic Disturbance, 8mm, and I watched The Hate U Give, which is great, which was fucking awesome actually. That movie made me cry a lot last night. When I was watching it. Definitely watching that movie. There's one particular scene in the middle of the movie where the father in the film, whose name in the movie is Maverick Carter, which is crazy, because that's a real person. He is with his family, and he's like an upstanding citizen, and he gets pinned by a black cop and a white cop to the ground in the movie, and it's unjust. And this is after there's already been a police violence incident, and he's just being pushed around, and it's awful, and it's really upsetting. And the way the scene is set up, I I wrote in a tweet last night, it's the kind of movie that at parts makes you want to punch a hand through a wall, right? Like, because the thing is, Black Lives Matter and the kind of posts that we see on social media, you know, I went to a protest, I marched in a protest. That stuff makes me emotional differently. That stuff makes me emotional in an overwhelming, it's happening around you, the real world sense, right? The kind of petitions I've signed, the money I've donated, that type of stuff, right? That's what I'm motivated to do by the stuff in the real world. But I'm not really interfacing on a personal day-to-day basis with like watching as a dramatically filmed version of police brutality is happening in front of me. That is not something I've personally witnessed where it's framed and lit correctly and I'm hearing clearly what people are saying like it is in a movie. So in a movie, it has the ability to take a scene that is like a real thing that would happen, that has happened, and put it right in your face. And so as I was watching last night, I mean, I just yelled at the television, right? Like I screamed at the TV. It was just really, really, really fucking upsetting. And so there's this like amazing scene where like the daughter is apologizing for having said something, and they get home and the father, who is just like embarrassed by this cop, and he's like he like had made his kids when they were children memorize the Black Panther's like 10-step, the 10 points, I think. And he gets out of the car and he's just like, line up, and he's like, recite the points. I'm telling you guys, it's a very emotional movie and it's a very good movie. And I was surprised that I had missed it to this point, but I really, really loved it. It has some really, really, really powerful, poignant scenes, and it's about as relevant of a movie you could possibly watch right now. So I'd recommend it. But yeah, anyway, that's a long way of saying, the stuff I'm watching right now is not by any means, that movie is important, but the other 3 movies I mentioned are definitely not movies that I think will really come up. So I got to come up with some stuff that's gonna, put me in a position to succeed, and Riley and I can work on together. So I'm making a plan for that. That's a goal. One thing I want to do with you guys every Monday night, I want to get on here and I want to set a goal. I think that's a goal that I already have. You guys probably already knew that was a goal, but in terms of how I'm going to tackle it, I don't want to publicly talk too much about exactly how I'm going to do it, but I'm planning on actually making a system and designing it and doing it and following it to a T. I was able to do that. That's why I was able to pull off some of what I was this last year, and I believe I can do it again. I don't think the game has outgrown me yet. So I believe that even if the matches all have to be digital, it is still something I know I can do and something I will do. So that's definitely one of the goals here. I think the other one that I want to set is, I really have gotten pretty out of shape since my surgery last year. When my surgery happened last October, it was a few months of recovery, not really being able to move very much. So by the early part of this year, I was just starting to be able to kind of move around a little bit again. But, my diet got really bad, and I wasn't taking the best care of my body. I was definitely, once quarantine started, I was definitely, just eating more than I wanted, and I was eating unhealthy stuff, and I wasn't being very active. And so that stuff started to kind of build up, and I've noticed, and I don't feel great about it. It's been lucky that during this time, Tim Miller says on the road to 2-belt statement. Well, what I'm talking about, Tim, it's more like a no-belt statement. Belts don't fit currently, but yeah, I mean, so Jeremy Miller says, really, I think you look good, Jeremy. So I appreciate it, and luckily, because of the way this all works with filming from here down, a lot of the size I've put on, I feel it, but I don't have to put on pants really. I get to wear a lot of sweatpants. I get to wear a lot of sweatpants and gym shorts. I don't have to put on like suit pants and suit jackets together and tuck in shirts and all that. So it's the kind of thing that I think I'd probably be a lot more aware of if I was needing to do that stuff. But yeah, so I started thinking about that, and I think this is maybe a little aggressive, and shit, look guys, this is the Monday show, so let's just talk about it, right? So I'm like close to 240 right now. I'm 6'2". I'm like, close to 240. And back last year, around the time I was playing in Chicago, Chicago, Houston, I'd gotten all the way down to like, maybe like 210. It's right in that range. And that's like, for a guy my size at my age, especially, that's pretty normal. That, that's like in shape, definitely. I was working out a lot. But that's good. But it's also during that time, like over the summer, I was drinking more and I was eating a little bit, and I wasn't in crazy good shape. I was just in better shape. And I haven't decided totally what I want to do. But one thing that I really was thinking about that feels kind of like where the next step I want to get to in my life, I kind of want to change my body. Like I want to kind of get to a lighter place for my 30s. I'm 32 years old. I turned 32 in June. One of the things I'm talking about on this Monday show is really kind of publicly setting these goals and sticking with them and sticking with them with you guys so that we can kind of all, at the very least, I can talk about them and you guys can hold me somewhat accountable. I'm not forcing anybody here to set any goals with me, but if any of you guys want to set a goal here, I would love to hear it. I'd love to be a part of helping you accomplish that goal. And yeah, kind of my plan is to set those goals on here and work through them with you guys. And so I have thought before about the idea that, setting the goal in my 30s to get under 200 pounds would be like 40 pounds, right? Like for me I would have to lose 40 pounds from where I'm at right now to get down under 200. And that feels pretty aggressive. It definitely does. What's up, Chad? Chad Hans. What's up, nerds? So I don't know, right? I don't know if that's the right goal, and that's why I'm not going to make exactly that goal now. But I think one thing that is clear is I definitely would like to be able to drop weight enough to be able to fit into my clothes. That's a thing, right? I really would like to be able to fit into the clothes I own because most of the suit pants they're a little snug. And so I think for me, the things that I'll at least talk about tonight, and I'll work on some other ones for next week. But I think the two that I'd really like to talk about tonight would be, number one, I want to win both the teams and the singles belt. I'm going to do that. I will win them both, and then I'll win them both in the fall. I believe if I set my mind to it, I do it the way that I really, intend to do it, I can. And I want to, check in with you guys on it. And I want to do it in a healthy way. I want to do it in a way that I'm not going crazy because I got a lot going on right now. I got this album that's coming out in December, and frankly, that's very important to me. It's something that I'm putting a lot of my emotional energy into, and it means a lot to me to get it out. So I want to make sure I'm working on that. But I also know that if I'm focused and I'm, not drinking much and I'm eating clean, I'm working out and I'm waking up early, I know I'll feel better. It'll probably help me focus more on the studying. So they go kind of hand in hand. There's a part of me right now that just wants to say out loud to you guys now, and maybe this is crazy, that by the time I turn 33 in June of 2021, I'd like to be under 200. I think that'd be kind of wild. I don't think I want to make that proclamation here today because I'm just starting to work on some of these structures and systems for the next year. But it's entirely possible that I make that goal for next week. But I can tell you guys, getting in shape, trimming down, that's important. And finding a way to do it where I don't have to go to a gym because I don't think I'm going to be able to go to a gym for a while. That shit freaks me out right now. There's a lot of germs, a lot of people. So those are my two big ones tonight. I'm going to set the Schmodown goal and kind of, at least talk through the fitness goal with you guys. There is a big part of me that thinks that from a celebratory perspective, where I'd like to be at the end of a year, I should just set that fucking goal. I should set let's lose 40 to 45 pounds. Because the thing about it, guys, is that while that sounds like a crazy, crazy high amount of weight, it's a lot of weight. I'm a big dude. I've got a big rib cage, big legs. I got a big ass. I'm a big dude. So if I lose 45 pounds, you guys would for sure see it. You'd see it in here. You'd see my face slim down, but you wouldn't notice it nearly as much. I promise you, it wouldn't look as drastic as I think if some of the people in here in the chat were to lose 45 pounds. I know for some people who are shorter, smaller, 45 would be like the whole body. For me, if I lose 40, you'd see it, but it wouldn't be drastic. It'd be in shape and slender, slim, for sure slim, but not like skinny. Like I wouldn't be skin and bones. Jeremy Miller asked, do you have a routine workout at home, or has that been gone since the pandemic? Yeah, I haven't figured out something yet. I ordered like a Bosu ball, which is like the half, inflated blue ball with a flat bottom. I ordered that, so I've got that. There are some resistance bands. I've got some of those behind me here. I bought a bike. There's a few things that I did that I definitely. I'm not a small guy, says Eric Frederick, but standing with Ben, I felt small just from a stature standpoint. Not saying you're fat. Yeah. So I get what you're saying, says Chris. I guess the point is, guys, it's like I'm a perfectly healthy person right now at the size I'm at. There's nothing wrong with the size of my body. I am considered to be in shape and a healthy person at a weight requisite to my size and height. Chad Hans asks, I'm 6'2". So that's the truth, right? If I wanted to stay at the size I'm at, there's no health professional that's going to look at me and say you need to drop weight. For me, it's a question of weight, right? Like I had back surgery, I have pain in my back every day. I want to weigh less. I want to weigh less so I feel better, so I feel lighter. I want to fit into my clothes and not carry around as much mass with me all the time. So that's, I think, the biggest place where the goal comes from. Sure, I think when you lose weight, you fit into your favorite jeans, whatever, you can buy different clothes. That's fine. And I've had those experiences in my 20s where I've gone up and down, I've gotten in shape, but I would like to feel a little lighter. So I think those are two. And then within those goals, I think are some things to focus on, right? Like if you focus on the outcome, it doesn't give credit to the process. And I think that that's one of the pieces of this that's like very, very interesting, is that, so to get to a point, if I was to change my life where I lost that much weight, it's not going to come from just like, I work out more and eat cleaner and I do it for a year. Because the reality of eating cleaner and working out more for a year is a total lifestyle change. If you're going to accomplish that much, that's a full-on lifestyle change. And it's kind of the same thing with Schmodown, where it's like, well, to be able to achieve and accomplish what I want to achieve and accomplish there, I've got to set up a system that's different than what I've done in the past. If I want to guarantee that I win, I need to be totally prepared, and there's work to be done, and there is a system I could do. So I think those are two things. The album in December, I saw Chris ask here a minute ago if I have a date set. I don't yet have a date set. That album is it could be done far before December, but I need to be, natural with it. I need to kind of give it time to get where it's going to get to. So those are three. And then I think within some of those goals, there are some other things that I'm thinking about, right? Like I'm thinking about focusing on that maybe is like, I don't know, like I was kind of considering doing yoga. I've never done yoga before in my life. I don't know if any of you guys ever have before. That's definitely something that I think I've always considered interesting, and I've heard from a lot of people that have back pain. It's really helpful for core strengthening. Obviously it's a group thing, so it's harder to do, but I also could just watch videos online. I could do it at home and learn to do it myself. But that's definitely something I was considering kind of incorporating as a way, as part of that lifestyle change, part of that, change of the body type, the body style, was maybe trying out some yoga. That seemed interesting to me. I think a last piece of exciting news that I didn't share with you guys yet, but I'm happy to share now, is I submitted on a job the other week. And because of that submission, I got contacted by one of the casting people involved, was an agent at a Hollywood agency, has a hosting division. They contacted me and I met with them. And they signed me last week. At the end of the week, they signed me as a host. I've never had a hosting agent in my life. I've never been sent out consistently or, put on tape for hosting jobs. And this could be anything from industrial corporate work to, gigs with Rotten Tomatoes like our friends just booked, or, even Travel Channel stuff, like the kind of stuff like Makuga booked, like that's the kind of stuff that you get sent out for as a host. And I know it's really hilarious, actually, just telling you guys now at the end of a stream. It happened at the end of last week because you'd think that would be like something I would have shared the same day. But I didn't, because I don't know why. I think there's a level to the LA hustle now, especially as a host, that just feels like, I don't know. It's like weird to celebrate things anymore. That's so strange. I know that's strange, but yeah. So that was the thing that happened. I'm really, really happy with that. I'm really proud of that. I'd never had a hosting agent in my life, and especially because I've been at the hosting game for 5 years now. It was cool. They looked at my reel and they were like, hey, this is great. This is really great. You should, sorry, I'm brain dead here for a second. They were like, this is really great. Do you have an agent? And Actually, this is kind of funny because I don't know if I've ever showed this to you guys before. So let me see if I can pull my reel here. I'll bet you I can. And I'll bet you I can play it for you guys. I cut this reel 2 years ago, longer, 2.5 years ago, and my computer that it was on got stolen. And when it got stolen, I lost the edited file that had all of this shit together. So I don't own this file anymore. All the interviews I think are all still out there. So I could go in theory download them all from YouTube and I could reconstruct this reel, but I don't actually have the version that I could edit together if I wanted to put this reel back together. So I have this old reel, and this is what I sent them, the agency, and they watched it and they were like, "This is really great, man. Do you have an agent?" And I said I didn't. And so, interesting. Looks like that app quit. Let's try that one more time. And I was going to play it for you guys here if I was able. I wonder if I'm able to play it. Yeah, I should be able to. All right. Let's see here. Screen sharing would be a lot easier, but obviously I haven't figured out the component of this that I'm able to do that yet. Huh. Interesting. This doesn't seem to want to work. Try it. We'll try it the other way one more time, just in case, maybe, right? See if maybe pulling it off of YouTube, if it gives me the same alert. Kind of have a sneaking suspicion it won't work, but here, actually, I have one last idea to try here before we give up, because we're wrapping up the stream here in a few minutes, guys. Those of you that have stuck around the full time, I very much appreciate. If you are watching now and you've not already hit the thumbs up button on this video, please do. It is very helpful if you do. As a final plug for anybody who is watching this, check out patreon.com/nerdsinsuits. There is a whole bunch of awesome shit. A lot of you guys that are in here watching right now are already patrons. There's early access to videos. You can ask questions to guests that I have coming on shows. There's a private studio session, which is twice a month for an hour where I sit and go through material. Literally, I wrote a song from a vocal recording I did on a hike on air during the stream and got pissed off because my guitar sounded really out of tune to me, and you guys watch me tune my guitar for 5 minutes and want to break a window, that all happened live. So sometimes good things happen, sometimes horrible, embarrassing things happen, but if you guys ever want to check it out, it's a fun show. Studio Diary is great. So let's see. Yeah, that doesn't seem to want to work for me, does it? Try one last Tizime. That's right. I said Tizime. And if this one doesn't work, it just doesn't work. Yeah, totally. I know. It says Eric Frederick. Ben's goal is to become more tech savvy this year. Yeah, it is a goal of mine to become more tech savvy. I don't really know. This has always worked in the past. This stuff that all the stuff that I tried tonight, like playing a clip on air or anything else like that, and for some reason, I can't seem to get it to work this time. So, this app has been working. It's not working anymore. So we'll have to do it next time. Anyway, guys, those are the things that I'm going to talk about tonight. So we did a little bit of goal setting. We did a little bit of personal sharing. Be sure to tune in this Wednesday. Coming up this Wednesday afternoon at noon, we've got the next episode of Song from the Scene, which is going to be Aerosmith. Don't want to miss a thing. Friday, we've got an interview with Mike Kalinowski, KO Killer himself, at noon. I'll be in the premiere for that one. So a lot of you guys asked questions already for him through the Patreon. I asked your questions to Mike. And look out in the Patreon for the spot to ask questions to Jordan Calloway and Johnny Cruz for upcoming streams. And come up on these Monday streams, because I'm going to be trying to do this weekly. Monday night, I think 7 p.m. This feels like a fun one to do. I want to encourage you guys, if anybody wants to set goals and do them with me, that would be great. And if I can ask the 30 of you in here that are watching this right now, I'm going to click end on the stream. If I can ask every one of you a favor when the stream is over, do me a favor as soon as the stream ends and leave a comment. Just leave a comment and say, hey, great stream, man. love to hear whatever. I don't really care. Just something, because the algorithm matters. And when you guys leave comments, I promise you these videos do better. So I want to see and continue to grow this channel. Thanks to everybody who watched. A big shout out to all you guys for being awesome. Cody Seal, Chris Wordburn, Eric Frederick, Haskell420, Chad Haunts, Jeremy Miller, Danny Cost. You guys are great. Party J, John Lestrina, Nikki Therese. You guys are all awesome, and I really appreciate you showing up for the stream. So enjoy the rest of your night, and leave a comment when this is over, and I will talk to you guys all very, very soon. Love you all. Bye, guys.